Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. Welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race and Strategy Guide. Apologies once again that the video is out a lot later than I would normally like to do. I'm still not feeling very good, folks. Definitely suffering from COVID here. That's around about a week that I've been kind of feeling pretty rough. So apologies, the quality of this video is not very good either. I'm kind of really struggling to kind of concentrate on anything and kind of do these videos justice. Hopefully we'll be back next week with some slightly better content. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a summary, just my thoughts on this race. But yeah, fairly interesting race in terms of strategy, because we've got 9 laps of Maggiore in the Group 4 machinery. We've got tyre wear at times 12, fuel at times 7, soft and hard tyres available, and just those soft tyres are mandatory. So you've probably got a fairly decent grasp on the strategy by now just through watching some other people's content. But yeah, as I said, this is just going to be my kind of quick summary and my thoughts on this one. Now, we're definitely going to be making a pit stop in this, so let's take a look at the pit loss and the fuel. The fuel being at times 7 is definitely going to be a little bit of an issue. You're either going to have to fuel save or take on some fuel. So let's take a look at the information for that as well. So yeah, times 12 tyre wear on the soft tyres. They are not going to last very long at all. I think a few people did attempt the no stopper, didn't they, yesterday in the... I think I've seen Key trying to do it, so I think the no stopper has definitely been ruled out. You'll have absolutely 0 tyres left at the end. Now the pit loss just for tyres is 18.8 seconds. In terms of taking the fuel on, add around about 1 second for every 10% of fuel that you put into the car. As I said, you can fuel save enough to not have to refuel, but if you do have to refuel, then you can see there the penalty is not too severe. In terms of car choice, because of that high tyre wear and that high fuel usage, you're looking for a car that's fairly nimble on its tyres and pretty decent on fuel. You get Toyota 86 is not too bad. The Renault Megane Trophy is looking to be maybe the more favoured car at the moment, along with the Nissan Silvia. They're both pretty good on the fuel and are nice and light, so they can make the kind of soft strategy work a little bit better than some of the other cars out there. The Alfa Romeo 155 is proving to be very popular. I've not actually tried this car myself, but it does seem to be doing very well. And an outside bet is maybe the Ferrari 458, although it's not as good on fuel as some of the other cars, as I have found out. Don't use the Audi TT, which is top of the leaderboards. It's an FF car, it will destroy the front tyres, and any Audi TT I have seen in race has been absolutely decimated. So moving on to the strategies, make sure you put your fuel mixture up to 6 at the beginning, just to save just that little 1% of fuel that you possibly can. It's all going to come in very handy at the pit stop or towards the end of the race. And yeah, the first strategy we're going to look at is the soft strategy. In this particular instance, we're doing 4 laps on the first stint and 5 laps on the second stint. The car should be a little bit lighter on the second stint, making that 5 lap stint a little bit more manageable. But regardless of what car you use, this is a very much a strategy where you're going to have to be good on the tyres. Now, I wouldn't want to be a pad player in trying to do this strategy, because even on the wheel, my tyres were absolutely dead even at the end of 4 laps, let alone 5 laps. So I don't know if this is a strategy that's particularly open to the pad players. As I said, you're going to have absolutely no tyres whatsoever. By lap 2.5, lap 3, you're probably going to be quicker on hard tyres, believe it or not, such as the extent of that tyre wear. But this does seem to be the strategy that a lot of players are mitigating towards, or migrating towards, I think is the word I'm looking for, despite the fact that you have pretty much no grip at the end of both stints. So coming to the end of lap 4 here, end of our first stint, you can see just the extent of that tyre wear. And yeah, the car behind us we actually overtook at the beginning of this stint, but I believe they're on hard tyres at the moment and they were coming back towards us rapidly. Had we stayed out for one more lap, they were definitely going to pass us without too much of a problem. So into the pits we're going to come here at the end of lap 4. We're going to take on a new set of soft tyres. We've not quite saved enough fuel, so we're going to take on a wee splash and dash as well. It's only going to be about 10%, but it does add on about a second and a half to our pit stop here, which is, you know, not disastrous, but if you can save that 1.5 seconds, then you're probably better off doing it. Particularly over the beginning of the race, where it is a lot easier to save a little bit of fuel, particularly when you are engaged in traffic. So out of the pits we come now. We've got the fuel that we need. We're down into P11, and we're going to try and do 5 laps on these soft tyres. And as we jump forward to the end of, or halfway through lap 5, you can see we have, not very many tyres left, to be fair. And it was kind of looking quite promising, this strategy, up until about the end of lap 8, or maybe even in the fight for the podium, but the tyres absolutely died. They just went off the cliff completely, and we got overtaken by the French driver in front, and we're going to actually get overtaken by Momo's behind us. I think both those drivers may well have been on the hard tyres. So yes, this is a very, very tough strategy to execute, to be honest with you, even if you're good on tyres. I think it's much more plausible, much more comfortable on the Renault Megane Trophy, or even the Nissan Silvia. As I said, within the Toyota 86 here, usually a pretty decent car on the tyres. I'm usually pretty decent at looking after tyres myself, but you can just see the extent of that tyre wear, and that is the 5-lap stint. But we went from the back there, from what I think we started in P15 to finish P6 in the end, so we did definitely move forward. Not too bad a race result for the soft strategy. Now the other option you've got, but if you don't want to kind of deal with that tyre wear, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't blame you, is to utilise those hard tyres. Now you've got 2 ways of doing it. You can start on the soft tyres and then move on to the hard tyres, or you can start on the hard tyres and then move on to the soft tyres. In this instance, we are going to do 3 laps on the soft tyres and then move on to the hard tyres. I don't think there's really any point going for that 4th lap, because I think you'll probably be faster on a fresh set of hard tyres than you would be on the worn soft tyres. If you're doing the reverse strategy, starting on the hard tyres, it's probably more plausible to maybe try and do a 4-lap stint on the soft tyres, just because you'll have that lighter fuel load. Now in this instance here, we are in the Ferrari, and as you can see, we haven't done a very good job on the fuel here. Now this was Monday morning. There was still a lot of experimentation going on, I think it'd be fair to say. Nobody was quite sure what was the optimal strategy. Whether you wanted to save fuel, whether you wanted to or whether actually it was even possible to save fuel. So people were just still finding their feet at this point. I was definitely still finding my feet here as well. Now the Ferrari's not as bad on fuel as I've made it look there. You can save a little bit of fuel and certainly minimise that pit loss. So I've exited the pits there in P13. Now the good thing about the hard tyres is that they perform very, very consistently indeed. They are obviously a lot slower than the soft tyres in terms of raw pace, but the soft tyres, they wear out so quickly that it's only after a couple of laps that the hard tyres and the soft tyres, they sort of equalise in terms of pace, and by the end of the race, anybody who's on the soft strategy, you will be quicker than them on the hard tyres. It's just a case of making sure you're still in position, or hopefully you're still in a position to then start taking advantage of that. In this race here in the Ferrari on the hard tyres, we were rapidly catching people who were dying on the soft tyres. Unfortunately, we're going to make a little bit of a mess of it into the last corner here, as does another car, as does 2 other cars, to be honest with you. But we gain 1 position from that car running wide, but we'll lose another position. That really should have been a P5. And as the finishing time comes up here, P1 was gone at this point. We were actually only a handful of seconds off P2 using the soft hard strategy. So I definitely think it's one to consider, particularly if you're maybe on the pad, or if you're just really, really bad on tyre wear. But all in all, it's an interesting race. As I said, I think there's 2 very, very viable strategies. You've got the soft strategy, probably better suited for the Renault Megane Trophy and the Silvia. But you can do it in the other cars as well, and you've got the soft and hard strategy. You can obviously do the hard and soft strategy as well, but you're looking to do about 3 laps on the soft tyres, 6 laps on the hard tyres. And yeah, the advantage of that one is that you will be faster towards the end of the race, but obviously you have to take that pain for a few laps on the hard tyres, where you are giving up around about 2 seconds a lap, which obviously then comes with its own problem. But yeah, this is pretty much just my summary for this one. Give both the strategies a try, I would say. I've been jumping between both the strategies and definitely finding some merits in both of them. I do like the fact when you finish on the hard tyres, you can be the aggressor, you're in the box seats, but yeah, you've got to take that pain that comes with you running the hard tyres for a couple of laps when the soft tyres will be considerably quicker. But yeah, hopefully the video's been useful in some way, shape or form. Apologies once again for the video being out so late. The quality's not good either, to be perfectly honest with you. As I said, I'm still not feeling anywhere near 100%, which does make making videos quite difficult, to be honest with you, because you do need to kind of have the motivation and the will and the concentration and the enthusiasm when you put this content together. I'm more kind of, to be honest with you, put this video on the channel just for consistency and just to give you a quick summary of my thoughts for this race. It's a bit annoying that a race with a lot of strategy comes up and I'm just not in any kind of condition to do it justice in terms of putting a good video together. So if you feel like giving me a little bit of a sympathy like or a sympathy subscribe, then feel free to do so, because there's no way you're going to be hitting that like button or the subscribe button for the quality of the video, that is for sure. But yeah, I shall try and live stream this one at some point this week. It should be quite good fun, maybe just take my mind off the fact that I'm feeling so crappy, if nothing else. But yeah, do join me for that if you can, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.